Hello and welcome back to the No Excuses podcast. My name is Anne and I live in the middle of Worcestershire in England with my husband Tom. Today is Monday the 28th of July and I keep looking down at my notes. This is episode 103. Welcome back to everyone, the new people and the long-time sufferers. Thank you for putting up with me. My hair's getting a bit long, isn't it? Might as well go off at a tangent as I normally do. My hair appointment was cancelled last week by my friend that I go with. She had to go to work for a meeting. I don't know what one of them is anymore. I kept meaning to cut my fringe, but she's really made the appointment for next week, so I don't know if I'll bother. And I did ask Tom whether my hair was long enough to put up in like a ponytail or something. But I end up with having long bits here hanging down, which is fairly flattering for my face, but I don't know what it looks like at the back. So I may or may not go out with my hair up a bit later on this week because I've got 2 activities. It's too many. Let's have a slurp. Plenty to talk about today. I've got, not too many things. You know, I'll forget half of it. I spend quite a long time sticking stickers onto books in no particular order, really, and then trying to work out if I've left myself enough room to write. So, yeah, and Tom just decided to try a hat on me that he'd ordered from AliExpress for himself. Far too small for me. So my hair was looking a little bit neater than this. We're nearing the end of the Get Your Kit Off mail, and I've just bought myself a new kit this morning, which I'll show you in a bit under incoming, which to remind you to get any kits that you've made, even if you're nearly finishing them, put them in, and I will do find some way of joining the Instagram and the emails and the Ravelry stuff all together so that I can do one big number pick, and we will sort out a prize that is open to the whole world at no extra cost to anybody who lives outside our borders. Anyway, across water basically, unless it's Northern Ireland. Then the I've never forgiven Sal for creating this. The double long, which is where you're holding 2 strands together, like I am on my shawl at the moment, and plenty of other things I'm knitting. Or you're doing colourwork will end at the end of September, and then the accessory melt, but not socks, will end at the end of October. Everything's on Ravelry, and it's listed down below as well if you forget what the dates are. The draw for the 800 subs will take place based on the last episode, that is episode 102. And a lot of you have entered using the word heatwave. And also there's flower of the month, which is clematis. And I will draw for those at the end of the week, when we've got the 1st of August, haven't we, on Friday. So I'll probably draw at the weekend. So if you haven't entered, please do. And again, that is open to everybody. Everything's open to everybody. The flower of the month, all I ask for you, because that's every month, I think I might have missed June. Every month this thing is, if you're abroad and you win it, that you contribute to the postage, the difference in postage. And a lot of you, I've got a list of those of you who've kindly said you will. So let's get on to, have you spotted what I've finished? Well, of course you have. It's my summer saunter. Can't show you very much because I don't really want to back up. But I think the neck fits fairly well. I can just about set my bra on that side. The neck is a bit smaller, I think, than the pattern called for by a couple of stitches. I had a lot of trouble trying to make both sides match in terms of number of stitches, but I have gone off piste with the edgings and things This is a lovely pattern by Samanthat Guerin, Summer Saunter, and it's knit in a DK weight cotton. This is Yarnsmith's Duck Egg, and it's nice and soft. I'm not sure about the length of the sleeves because I don't know whether they're... See how that's rocking into my arm? And I can't even lift this arm up, but I don't know whether they're too long or too short for where they're sitting, because I hate it when sleeves get into my elbow and then I can't reach to undo them. So we'll see. I'm going to probably... I've only just put it on, and I'm going to possibly wear it on Wednesday when I've got tenner afternoon with the girls. But I went off-piste with the neckline. I haven't done an I-cord cast off, and I've just done eyelets followed by a pearl row, followed by cast off, standard 1/1/1 cast off. And I've done something similar on the bottom, on the hem, and on the arms. And I always say this, I'll take a photograph. If I forget, I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm pleased with it. It fits nicely. It's not too baggy. I can't remember what size I did. I'm sure it's in my notes on Ravelry. But for a big fat girl, I've got plenty left. I've got a whole ball left and the equivalent to a whole ball left. So I think this is 300 and something grams. I ordered 500, I think. And yeah, so yeah, between 3 and 4 I've got left. Can't have the equivalent to another ball. I'll stop talking gibberish. Take the notice of me, you know. So yeah, I'm pleased with that, and I'm itching to start another one because I want to knit something in the summer meadow, which is the cotton and linen mix that Yarnsmiths have just introduced. And I showed you that last time. I haven't cast on yet because I need to decide on whether I'm going to use this pattern again because I like the fit, or whether to go with some other patterns. I've got a Rowan book. I've got 2 Rowan books. One is for soft yak and the other one is for summer light cotton, which is they're doing the DK and the 4-ply, they used to anyway. And it's a matter of me deciding whether I want to pattern or whether I just want to go off-piste and put my own stamp on, you know, my own stitch pattern from one of the libraries, or Japanese stitch libraries, for instance, because I quite like a complex stitch pattern, as you well know. Not on the back, because being in the wheelchair means that nobody's going to look at my back. And if they are, they shouldn't be sneaking up behind me, should they? I'll show you. The next thing is progress on my shawl. This is a bag made by... Oh, I told you that last time, didn't I? Couldn't find the name. I think I've got this one confused with another thing where it's got a label in it. Yeah. Right, this is my Glowhair Frost Shawl by Stephen West. Put a picture of the shawl up, and unless I've got to get a decent one on the pattern that I've got here. I'll just grab that one as well because that's attached at the moment. Let me see if I can find you. I've spilt tea on this. This is, I think it's a pattern that was introduced in 2024 last year. It's got a wool on it, but you can see the fact that it's 3 colours of yarn followed by blended with 3 colours of fluff. And I was talking to you last time about the fact that I didn't know what pink, and I'd ordered 2 more pinks from Wool Warehouse, like I needed them. And then I had this bright idea of showing my in-laws when they came the other day, which I'll talk about in a minute, and get them to choose so that I could carry on knitting because I was getting a bit of an impasse. I'm cracking on with this. I'm really enjoying it because it's complicated. Well, not complicated, but it's got different stitches all the time, and I like that sort of thing. I'm debating on whether to sew my ends in as I go before it's blocked, especially the fluffy ones, but bear with me. I don't want to, because I've got nearly 400, probably over 400 stitches on now. I'll show it you from a distance. Oh, come in a bit. So you've got the first bit there with a bit of fluff down here where I'm sticking my thumb through, and then bubbles, and then it's like a teardrop shape, and then some what's that there? Oh, the eyelets, and then it's interspersed with rows of garter and things. That's one pattern in the second. That was all done in the first colour, second colour, and now I'm on to the third colour. Now that might look a bit heavy to you compared to the others, but actually because it's got a lot of the same pink in as the other two, because they're all the deep rose from Attic Spin Dye, who are on holiday at the moment. Well, hey, then it looks good. I'm pleased with the effect. And after showing my in-laws, they decided that the deeper pink from Yarnsmiths, which is that one here, went the best with the rest of the yarns. And I have to say, they're obviously toned with the other Yarnsmiths there, you know, the Yarnsmith fluff. And I'm quite pleased, actually. Now I'm knitting it up, you get a slightly different perspective. The yarn is on its own, in this little dark row there. Can you see it? And it looks a bit stark. But when it's mixed with whatever yarn you're holding it with, then I think it's going to be okay. I'm just looking. I have got a baby robin on the feeder who looks absolutely gorgeous. Probably adult size now. But you can tell he's a robin because he's got a speckled chest. And he's got a different beak. He's not a sparrow. And he's not a dunnock. Come here for bird lessons, don't you? I don't really show you them. I can't turn the camera round with it round fast enough. So at the moment I'm approaching towards the end of the shawl. And if you look at the pattern, I'll put it back in there, there are chevrons at the bottom. I don't really like chevrons. And I've looked at his other patterns and they have got a lot of chevrons or vertical stripes on an applied border. And I don't want that either. I was doing all right with stitch count. I was perfect. And then I sort of lost it on a really easy bit. So all I did was on this bit here, which you can't really see the patterning, the lace, because it's in the most heavily variegated wool. But the pattern's there. You can see it, you know, with your real eyes as opposed to camera eyes. I repeated one section. You did 4 repeats of this 2-row pattern, and I did 6. And then I just incorporated that pattern into either end as I went. So I went a bit off piece, but it seems to be working because I'd like to use a bit more of the yarn. Some of the comments on the project pages on Ravelry do say that they had plenty of yarn left over. I don't really want that. I don't want to make a massive one, sure, but I'd like something I could put around my shoulders, and I think I'm going to use this in a practical way as well. Not just for frippery and adornment, though obviously I'll look bloody gorgeous in it. Oh, shut up. It must be the drugs. It's the drugs. I'm not really like this. Then I'm going to find a way. I don't know what to do to replace the chevrons with another pattern. I fancy another row of bubbles for a start. And then I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm going to use anything here or just do stripes like these garter stripes there. They call them stockinette stripes, but they're stocking stitch stripes, really. And it makes the ridges, you know, a bit like the worm hats if you've made that, which is a classic Ravelry pattern. So yeah, I'm thinking about what to do. I mean, if you knitted this and did you do the chevrons, I'll have to ask Shelley. She's my go-to shawl guru. Now, aren't you, Shelley? If she sees me before I make the next podcast, I'll get near the end. I'll write to her. So yeah, I don't know what to do. Am I being too fussy? Should I just go with the chevrons? You know, am I trying to put my stamp on it that nobody else is going to notice or care about? I don't know. It's just ziggy-zaggy. I seem to have an aversion to zigzags. Because Feather and Fun are zigzags, and you know how much I hate Feather and Fun. Ooh. Oh. Anyway, if you've got any ideas, I'm thinking it's a crescent, so I might end up doing mini chevrons. I don't know. We'll see. And the other thing about chevrons is they've all got to be pinned out, because it won't look right, will it, otherwise? Having said that, I love the Boo Knit stuff, where she does lovely ethereal points, lacy points on her shawls, especially ones with beads on them. I need to do a couple of those one day. I know what to do with all my shawls. I don't want to keep them all. I can't really sell them because they're copyright, although I don't see why I couldn't sell, because I'm not going to make them again, one or of each that I've made to put to the charity. But then I don't know who to sell to. Someone will give away. I've got a lace one that I made, which I loved making. I'm going to give it to my knitworthy friend on Wednesday when I see her. Mum said, I'll have a couple of your shawls. But Mum wears different colours to me, really. She's a bit more of a blue girl. I know, I'm wearing blue. But she's a slightly more dual colour person than me. Does this podcast make any sense? And so on a postcard. So yeah, so that's my Glowhair. I thoroughly enjoy it. I recommend the pattern, as all Stephen's things are always well written. I say that having no previous experience, but that's what I hear from people. And to be honest, I don't think his patterns would be as popular if they weren't well written. I'm not so keen on the weird and wonderful ones. I think for me, sitting in a wheelchair, some of them are too big, and they've got bits that stick out that could give me the Isadora Duncan moment. And of course, you only get one Isadora Duncan moment, and you're no longer with us. If you don't know what I'm talking about, she was a film star in the 20s or something, or socialite. So anyway, she had a long red scarf, which was her sort of thing to wear, long red scarves, and she got it caught in. She was in an open top car, and it killed her because it ran around the wheels, strangled her. So we don't want any of that. I mean, I've nearly been pulled out of my wheelchair before now by that's the pink that I'm going to be using. I am using another colour just fell on the floor. I'll go and get that in a minute before I roll over it. It was like, oh yeah, I've been pulled out of my wheelchair a bit by things wrapping around the wheels, and I got completely stuck at work once. A new girl had started, and within a week I had to phone her from the toilets saying, can you bring a pair of scissors? I'd started putting a towel down where I sit. I've probably told you this before, because you're sitting on plastic otherwise. And this was when I started using a wheelchair full time, a power chair. And the towel had slipped and it gone around the front wheels, and I couldn't move because the towel was fairly new. It was like a little hand towel, wasn't anything big. Up to his phone, I couldn't get out the cubicle. Sandy, can you come to the toilet with a pair of scissors? She's like, I've only just started in this office and it's getting weird. She did it for me. So, there we go. I'm going to unpick the ball of water back. I will see you in. I've lost something. I bought some ceramic buttons from Zoe's Buttons on Etsy. met Zoe right at the end, well, near the end of us going round Wonderwall, and she was opposite the ginger pink stall, and she didn't have any buttons like the ones I needed for my lovely felted tweed cardigan stroke jacket that I like. It's yellow, it flecks of blue with it being felted tweed, and the plastic buttons I've got on it are faded. I've realised, I mean, it gets hand washed once a year. And I suddenly remembered about Zoe's buttons, and I went on and had a look, and she had a set of 5, I think, hearts, and then a round one in the middle. I've displayed on a card. Do you think I can find it? I'll show it you next time, but I thought I'd mention it because, and I'll leave a link to Zoe's shop as well. And I think it was £12 for the set of 5, which I thought was quite reasonable. I was going to have a look. It's not in, they're not in here. I mean, where? Incoming. Have I got any? Of course I have. This is a no-buy year. What more do you expect? Stop laughing. Cruel, that is. Cruel. Laugh at me. I had this come in the post. You've probably seen it if you follow Instagram. Now this is a beautiful decoupage, is it? It's from Shelley, of Shelley String. I mentioned Shelley because she's a prolific knitter. Shelley decorated the box, and it came wrapped in, it was a real surprise, came wrapped in B tissue paper. Unfortunately, I couldn't save any because I was too keen to rip into this surprise that I had. So if I just tease that off, and then it's got B tissue paper in. It's blowing out because it's a bit metallic, which is gorgeous. And then inside, I saw another word for this. It's cross stitch, sort of like a pin cushion. And you can see the bees. Put the bees the right way up. And it's got little beads along the edge. And a bead in the middle on both sides there, and it's got hives on the other side, look. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? And the cross stitch work is just superb. It's very, very, very neat. Now Shelley said, I think she said to me it was a kit, and I'll look on the Instagram post again and see what information I can glean from it. But beautiful. I'm not going to use it as a pin cushion. I'm going to display it actually because I've got to have a big sort out in this house. I've just been talking to my sister about starting the decorating, and the decorating will mean new flooring, new shelving, lots of things. My sister will do anything. She's very, very good, very handy. So isn't that exquisite is probably the most apt word I can find for it. I've said it before, I am a member of the Bumblebee Conservation Trust. We went to Webb's earlier to meet Mum, because my mum's had a hip-hop 3 weeks tomorrow, Tuesday. Juliet came up from, my sister lives near Witney in Oxfordshire, and she came up and picked my mum up for us. We met at Webb's because it's very accessible. Had a drink and walked round, and we went round the gardens. Well, you know, where they sell plants. They've got some beautiful echinacea, and the bumblebees and the honeybees were all over the echinacea. So that means I want some. I never used to like comb flowers. I think that's such a. It's easier to say. I just think it's a sad name for such a beautiful flower. But they had some stunning colours. They had one that was pink on orange together. Most of them were either orange, yellow, pink, but stunning colours. And my lovely husband has said to me, because we've got these pots outside that aren't doing very well, I'll dig you a border. You can have a border instead of the pots. Now we don't have a dog to run all over it, you know. Because those pots are falling apart, basically. And rather than keep renewing them, all the plants would do better, even if it was a bit of a raised bed. So, yeah, looking forward to that. It might take a while. What was I talking? Oh yeah, we're talking about the bees loving the plants, you know, very much so. And then, oh dear, I got this thing into my head, and I thought, I follow Deb's from Crafty Cat Knitty Bits, or the Fibre Fairy on Folksy. She's Crafty Cat Knitty Bits on Instagram and Etsy, and she sells fibre. Though she's hand dyed yarn. Sometimes it's hand spun. She goes on the most beautiful walks near where she lives. I think she lives in South Gloucestershire. And it's quite a hippie trend, and I quite like that sort of boho. I thought, what is she going to yarn? Because, you know, I'm not buying yarn. What is she going to yarn on her? She tends to sell the yarn on Folksy. So I was going to see if she's got anything that I like. And why would I? Because I've got yarn coming out of my ears. So I bought this. Isn't that beautiful? It is, isn't it? I got into my head it was double knitting. I don't know why. I think it's because I went in the loft and I found a muck by Needle and Thread. And it wasn't on Ravelry. I can't remember what I paid for it now, but this is called Owlsmore, and there's her little tag, mushrooms, Fibre Fairy, and it's BFL. So I had to have it because it was me. And then I found my Wisteria Hysteria, which is more lilac-y than that. But I do like the combination of colours in this. I got 400 grams. So it would be enough to make a little top, wouldn't it? It looked very nice. So I bought that, I'm afraid. And then I had this great thought, right? At the end of August is my wedding anniversary. And this year it's wool. So I said to Tom, my long-suffering husband, I've bought myself a wedding anniversary. And he went, good. I'm very pleased because it means he doesn't have to. He doesn't demand one, but I do. Is that the way it's supposed to be? Considering he does all the work and I just sit there, you know. And so I've done him a great favour by buying this for myself. And being Deb, she's very generous. And she had shown on... oh, my feet keep going funny in the afternoon. I don't know what that is. She had shown some new, what they called, not stitch markers, but I'll just show you. Fobs. Bag fobs. I don't know if I can... And she sent me that. Which weirdly, out of the pictures she showed on Instagram, was the one I liked the most. And I thought, oh, that's nice. And then that started me thinking about her. And then I went to Folksy shop. And then she sent a little thing of, this is gingerbread coffee, I think. I think it's gingerbread coffee. Yeah, gingerbread coffee. There was a little pack of jammy dodgers in there, but I don't know where they've gone. Who knows? Fairies have eaten them. And then also there were two little heart-shaped, leaf-shaped buttons, one in lilac and the one in a lovely ochre colour, both of which are on the wall. So thank you, Debs. And very generous. She's very generous. She always sends little bits in there. She sent me a beautiful shawl pin of a hare as an extra. you know. So there we go, incoming. I'm guilty. Guilty as charged again. You know, it's called no excuses. I keep explaining to you, right, that I am not going to make any excuses because I'm already full of them. I don't need to, do I? Because you can see the evidence. And I bought this as well. If I can move my arms sideways, this arms, need to chop it up. I don't know why, but I went into Smiths and I bought another Moderna notebook. This is a soft coloured one, soft cover, and it's dotted. I like the colour. They're not cheap. I've got at least 10 notebooks to use and I haven't written any this year. I didn't need it, but I wanted it, and that's got to stop. It's got to stop with notebooks, stationery and food. There you go. Won't work. So now I want to try, oh no, one last thing. I went to Hobbycraft this morning to meet Mum, my sister. Obviously we nipped in Hobbycraft is inside Webs at Droitwich, at Witchbold. It's a fairly decent Hobbycraft if you're ever on the M5 in that area of the world. And online I've been looking at the painting by numbers, because you know we all need a new hobby, don't we? And this beautiful advert keeps coming up with a painting. It looks so nice, called Cheerful Painting, I think it is. But of course once you've watched it, it keeps coming again and again. So I went onto their website and it was like, to have it one mounted on canvas as opposed to just on the roll, it was something like £24. It was about £18, and then you could buy two get one free or something like that. And it came with brushes and a few paints. And I thought, I don't want to part. I didn't see the point of having the paper one that you paint on and then could mount onto canvas, because I think I'd get annoyed with the paper rolling up and things, because my reach isn't that good. Anyway, we're coming out of... Tom and my sister went back to the car to put some stuff in each other's cars. So me and Mum were left alone, and my Mum's in a wheelchair. And she says, I need to go to the loo. And I couldn't help her at all. But as I left Hobbycraft, I saw these painting things for kids, big bottles of paint and things. Mum went to the loo. She set the alarm off, trying to reach the drop-down bar to help her get up again. They didn't come running, but they did come within a few minutes. She didn't need any help. She just accidentally pulled the cord, and they have to reset it. So, I went back in with Tom. We said goodbye then, and Tom and I went back into Hobbycraft to say hello to Naomi. She's a bit busy today. And then I said I want to look at these things, but they weren't painted by numbers. They were just canvas looking, and I didn't want the paints. So I said I must do paint by numbers, and Tom just saw where we stood. Look over there, clearance, paint by numbers. Well, they were half price actually. This is a kit. So I bought this. It's for age 6 and over. Right. Now bearing in mind how much the one online was. And this is mandalas, as you can see, or patterns. And you get 14 paints, 14 little pots of paints. And some of you would have done painting by numbers. I did. I bought quite a big one by my aunt and uncle for Christmas one year. You've done them, you would have done them when you were young, perhaps. 14 paints, 3 painting boards with the numbered patterns on, 2 paint brushes and an instruction sheet. £4. So if you fancy having a go to Hobbycrafts and nab one. They've got all different sorts. The other one I liked was the giraffe, but that is a bit more intricate, because I think I can cope with that. I have no artistic ability at all. None. But I can follow patterns and instructions. Anyway, so that's my incoming. And then if I've got my new kit then. Too late to enter into the kit mail, of course. Right, now, every now and again I will come across some yarn that I no longer want to keep, or has been, in this case, has been donated to me by a very nice person, and they've said to me, you can keep it yourself and use it, or you can give it away, whatever you want to do, or you can raise funds for the Stroke Association. Now, Maggie, who's been very, very generous to the podcast over the last few years, Maggie lives a few hundred yards from me, as the crow flies, across the other side of the main road. And she gave me this, and I think it's 14 balls, 1400 grams of Hamilton, BC Garns, Hamilton number 1. Not to be confused, I think this is discontinued now, not to be confused with tweed, the Hamilton tweed, which is, I think, still being manufactured. This is 100 metres per 50 grams. It's classed as an Aran, and it's 100% wool. It's hand wash, it's not superwash. This is colour number 107, and I would say it was a bluey lilac. Not bad, actually. Close to that. I have started knitting on a couple of the balls, and I've undone them again. I was going to do a big love, like my big orange one, and I decided it was getting too heavy for me. So I had a word with Maggie when I saw her last week and said, would you mind if I try and sell this on the podcast? And she said, not at all. So I've got 14 balls of this equivalent. I've broken into 2 of them, I think. So, is anybody interested? UK only, I would suggest. And including postage, they retailed at about £6 originally. So for 14, I would like £30, and that's including postage, second class postage. So if you are interested, the first message I see will have them. You can email me at spaknitsandcrafts@gmail.com. The details are below. You can message me on Ravelry, you can put a message on here, or you can private message me on Instagram. All roads lead to Rome, and that would be another £30 in the box for the Stroke Association. And Maggie, thank you very much for your generous gift. It is really appreciated. And then, when I was looking for some wool to send to a good friend of mine, I came across a bag full of cotton. Look. And these are cottons. They're either 4-ply or double knitting, and I bought some of them with a view to making toys. And I think it's the Knitted Friends book. Can't remember who I meant to look up the author, which is Cassie's fault basically, from the We and So podcast, because she bought it, and if she bought it, then that meant I had to buy it as well. I say, you find it's about crafters, and might as well be called crafters stroke enablers. But in here, and I'm not going to go through it all, but if anybody's interested, I'd like £20 for the lot. I'll have to weigh them. If it's more than 2 kilograms, I might have to break them down into 2 separate parcels. But maybe we should keep it DK and 4-ply separately. And let's say including postage, £15 each. Actually, let's do that. Let's keep it simpler. But I will weigh them and make sure I might adjust the price. You know, when things are going against you. Luckily, this isn't too crackery. Right. In here, we have got some soft fun. They're all Shepsies, this soft fun is. And it is lovely to knit with, and it's lovely to wear. It is 60% cotton, 40% acrylic. It's not mercerised cotton. DK weight, for 50 grams you get 140 metres. That's the lace colourway. And we have 1, 2, 3, nearly 4 balls of that. And these were bought for my blanket on the bed, which isn't on the bed at the moment. And in addition to that, there's a whole ball of the pale green, minty green, and a whole ball of a pale pink, a baby pink, and then you've got bits and pieces of some of the darker colours, pink, red, blue, and other bits and pieces, a slightly darker green. That is, I don't know what that is. I'll keep it in there because I think it looks like it's mercerised, but cotton, I think. Bits of yellow. So there's a few little odds and sods in here, but I'll keep them all in because they all look like they might be cotton. And another quite a big amount of pale green. So they're all DK as far as I can tell. And yeah, and it includes the one that I'm wearing, one whole ball because I've got plenty left over of Yarnsmiths cotton DK in the duck egg, which would go, you know, you'd be able to mix and match all these, no problem at all. So if anybody's interested in a DK bag of mixed cotton, so you've got 4 balls of the lace colourway, and then another 2 whole balls, and then bits and pieces. £15. And then your 4-ply, we've got Katona, again by Shipsies, in a turquoisey colour. A peachy colour. One of them's called, that's called Vintage Peach. I've written on a couple of them. That's called Petal Peach. That's paler. These are clothes, you see, for I'm not going to admit toys. That's called Camel. These are all complete 50-gram balls. And then finally, I don't think this has got a colour on it. No, 399. It's like a lilac-y colour. Katona is 125 metres for 50 grams. So not that far away from, because it depends what it's made out of, isn't it? Cotton's heavier than cotton and acrylic. 100% mercerised cotton. So this is a shiny cotton, but it's lovely to knit with. To get good stitch definition. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then in addition to that, which is also 4-ply, so you can mix and match these, is Shipsy's stone washed, and these are called Moonstone. It's 78% cotton, 22 acrylic, and it's 130 metres. So it's only 10 metres off the soft one, which is classed as a DK. So some might say it's sport, but it says 4-ply on the Wool Warehouse website. Yeah, it says sport on there actually. I've just noticed. I stared at it yesterday. And this one is gorgeous colour. This is, I'd like to knit a Morganite. They're all named after precious gemstones, aren't they? Semi-precious gemstones. So you've got 2 stone washed there, and the 5 balls of 1, 2, 3, Yeah, 5. So you've got 7 balls there for £15, including the postage, which includes the postage. So again, if you get more double knitting, but there's bits of double knitting, whereas you get whole balls of those. So if anybody's interested, I would like to part with these. They may well just go to charity otherwise. I do have the Knitted Friends book, and I did think about putting that together with some of the balls, but I think I'm going to keep it because I've got Shetland stuff that I could equally knit the clothes and things with, knit the toys with. Oh, let me put that so it's not going to roll down on me. 50 minutes. Some of that's going backwards and forwards. So yeah, if you're interested, please let me know. I try and sell it about roughly half price or less. It's been stored in the loft as the way. Bertie was around when I was making the blanket, but I doubt you'd find any hairs on there. Shouldn't do. Right, okay. Activity. I met with Judy and Wendy, the oldies. I told you I was going to do that when we last spoke at St Peter's Garden Centre, and that was nice. And then on the Friday afternoon, Tom's mum, Kath, and his sister Carol, who is a year younger than me, arrived down from Stockport, and that was lovely to see them. We didn't go anywhere because it was too warm. His mum can't walk. She can walk, but she doesn't walk a great distance anymore. Really, she should have her hips or her knees done or something, but she won't go to the doctor. So we ended up just sitting there and chatting for 1.5 days, really. But it was nice. We sat outside for a bit as well. I had a walk down the garden. But I was so tired, left over from the bathroom and everything. I actually fell asleep talking to Kath. I went, come to, but I was actually gone. And I think the opiates are working against me in some ways in the hot weather because they're just knocking me out. My mum's on quite strong ones at the moment following her hip operation. And she said today, you know, she feels a bit zombified when she wakes up. She's not used to them, I am. But yeah. So that was nice to see them. Been shopping with Tom. Went to a couple of supermarkets. I haven't really done any else. Supposed to have my hair cut last week, didn't. And it was Tom's birthday on Saturday. And I was a bit concerned because he didn't have a birthday cake. And he didn't fancy anything in the shops when we went the day before. So on the Saturday afternoon of his birthday, I could hear him chopping. I thought, what's he up to? He made a lovely cherry Madeira. So he has got a birthday cake. And I am having a piece a night because it's delicious. And today I went to Webb's to meet up with my mum, see how she is. She's getting better slowly. This week we've got tenner. At Christmas we meet up. Yeah, excuse me. Oh, Eckers. I'm off. And once I start yawning, that's it. Went to, we're going to go probably to the Cosy Club and sit there all afternoon and play games like we do at Christmas. I said, why don't we do this twice a year, you know? And then on Friday we're going to Merry Hill. Tom is very bravely taking me, Liz and Elaine. Well, Elaine's going to meet us there and her husband's going to pick us up. So it means we spend longer together. I don't know what Tom's going to do. I just keep editing my yawns outside. I'm not bored. I don't know what Tom's going to do because he won't want to come around the shops. So I'm going to sit him down somewhere with a cup of coffee or a Pepsi Max or something and let him do what he wants, and we'll eat with him as well. I'll go to Spoons or something. You can sit outside at Spoons. Where he'll probably be more comfortable, unless it's raining. So yeah, that was my fortnight. There's probably other things I should be telling you, but I've forgotten what they are. Or not forgotten, I can't remember. I'll see if I can find the buttons at some point, because they're quite nice to show you. And apart from that, thank you for watching. Thank you to everybody who's been in touch. Thank you to Shelley for my gorgeous present. And I'm enjoying it. Nearly went there. Can't help it. Just blame the drugs for everything. My feet are fizzing. I'm going to phone the doctors. I will love you and leave you. I will see you soon. And yeah, be good. If you can't be good, buy more wool or whatever craft you fancy. You know. Thank you for the Advent interest again. I will have to do a count to see what I've got, and then I might close the books on that. So see what we've got. And you take care, and I will see you approximately 2 weeks' time.